It was a battle of a top NFC team versus a top AFC team to wrap up Sunday's Week 9 action. And it was the Tennessee Titans kind of shocking the NFL world, and it was full of them on Sunday, taking out the Rams 28-16. To come talk about the W, our guy from Locked On Titans. Of course, this Locked On NFL podcast on Thursdays, Tyler Rowland. And Tyler, man, what were your first thoughts or first insights on the Titans with Derrick Henry on the shelf, of course, undergoing foot surgery?
Well, my whole takeaway the entire week was I don't think the Titans' offense is going to fundamentally change. They do what they want to do. They'll just have less explosive runs. Derrick Henry is going to take those 60, 70, 50-yard touchdown runs. Who the Titans have now with Peterson and Foreman, McNichols, they're not going to do that. But overall, the Titans are going to keep the offense the way that they run it. They're not going to change their philosophy overall, even with the loss of Derrick Henry.
Tic Tac Titans on Twitter, of course, Tyler Rowland. And it wasn't really the offense that was making noise on Sunday night. It was the defense that showed up in a big way.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. The Titans had 5 sacks on the night. That's the most sacks they've had in one game all year. That goes with the theme of the year. The Titans' pass rush has just been absolutely incredible. They already have more sacks this year, halfway through the year, than they had the entire season last year. Jeffrey Simmons really led the charge. He had 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. He was the guy giving the pressure to Stafford when he threw the interception at the goal line and went full Wentz on us. You never go full Wentz. So, I mean, Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive line, Harold Landry, Bud Dupree, Danico Autry, who also deserves a lot of credit, even an undrafted free agent like Naquan Jones. They all really stepped up in this game and disrupted Matthew Stafford from the start.
Yeah, 28-16, and it really the final score not indicative of what we witnessed on Sunday Night Football. I mean, the Titans dominated this contest. Do you feel like this is sustainable, this defensive performance?
Well, maybe not necessarily holding the 5 sacks and
Sure.
2 turnovers, a touchdown on defense, 4 for 15 on third down, 1 for 3 in the red zone with one score being the garbage time. I mean, maybe the Titans can't do that, but if the Titans defense is able, when the Titans defense plays their best, they're able to hold teams like the Rams to 16, the Chiefs to 3 points. So I think that is just quite the development because the best version of the Titans defense last year couldn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
So when you combine the best version of the Titans offense and the best version of the Titans defense, they have a good enough team to win the Super Bowl, which is what people in Tennessee, the expectations were this year, that they could make a deep run in the playoffs and maybe win a Super Bowl. So when you see this defense doing these kind of things to these sort of opponents, it just gives you that reassurance that going forward throughout the season, the Titans have a way easier schedule. They play Houston twice. They play Jacksonville again. They play the Dolphins. They play the 49ers. I mean, they play the Saints next week, and their situation's a little murky right now. So
Yeah.
the Titans don't play the Rams every week, and if they're able to do this to the Rams at home on the road, the Titans have the most injuries in the NFL this year, 77 players they've used. That's 10 more than the second closest team at 67. That's 7 players away from a record in the NFL, and we're only halfway through the year. For all of that to be said, the injury to Derrick Henry, for the Titans to come out and give this performance, I don't think you have to worry about it being sustainable. I think it's who they are.
Yeah, that rushing attack, what do you expect from it going forward? We got our first glimpse of it. What do you expect going forward? We're going to see more. Who's probably going to get more carries after Week 9?
Well, I think just instant reaction looking at that game. I think Adrian Peterson looked like a 36-year-old running back. Now, brand new system. He hasn't been playing football this year, and he even said himself this week that football shape is different than just being in shape. He's in shape. That, better in shape than 99% of the world population, but it's different to actually play. So I think as Peterson gets more acclimated and gets in real football shape, learns the Titan system more, he'll still get the majority of the carries. He had 10 tonight. But I think Deontay Foreman, looked like he's a guy who could take 10 carries himself. McNichols had a little bit of burst, although I'm not high on him as a runner. I like him in that pass catching scat back role that he's been playing in all year. Like I said at the beginning, the Titans aren't going to have the explosive run plays that they had with Derrick Henry because these guys aren't going to break it 60, 70 yards and take it to the house like Henry can do. He does that better than anybody else. But I think that they have enough talent there as Peterson kind of gets more acclimated to have a semblance of a run game so that they can keep doing what they do with the play action.
It was, it couldn't have been a worse start to the season for the Tennessee Titans. They lose pretty bad to the Arizona
Right.
Cardinals, and we've seen that the Cardinals are one of the better teams in the leagues, if not in the top in the top teams to mention. And then you've got the bad loss to the Jets. So a little uneven performances to this point, but now they're 7-2.
Mhm.
Where do the Titans stand as far as the top teams in the AFC? Because they've weathered the storm. And then I think even with the absence of Derrick Henry, they're in that conversation.
Yeah, I think they have to be. And you look at their two losses. Number one, every year there's some weird stuff that takes place in week one. And the
For
Titans'
sure.
first team offense never played together. So, not to diminish the importance of the Cardinals win, but I mean, even if you want to look at that loss the way that it is and not give it the week one caveat and all of that,
Mhm.
and the Titans' offense caveat, the Cardinals are a fantastic team. Those are probably
Yeah.
the two best teams in the league is the Titans and the Cardinals. So no shame there in taking that loss. And then the Jets game, they were without A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. And I don't think that the Titans offense can function when you don't have at least one of those guys. It's kind of hard for them to do that against any normal NFL team. So the two losses that they have, while they look kind of bad because of the score, because of the opponent, when you
Mhm.
really drill in and look at them, they're not all that bad anyway. So with the Titans schedule ahead, like we talked about, I I think that the Titans deserve to be considered the best team in the AFC. And, you mentioned that the Titans upset the Rams, kind of shocked the football world. How many weeks in a row are we going to, oh, the Titans shocked the world. They beat the Bills. Oh, the Titans shocked the world.
Yeah.
They killed the Chiefs. Oh, the Titans shocked the world. They found a way to beat Indiana. Oh, they shocked the world on Sunday Night Football. At some point in time, the world has to wake up. The
Right.
Titans are one of the best teams in the NFL, and it's not changing.
Yeah, it was JJ Watt for the Cardinals who said, when they were beating up on the Browns, he's like, "Maybe we're just better. Maybe we're just better." And I think that the
Yeah.
same could be said for the Titans, and they continue to prove it week in and week out. Tyler Rowland, he's talking about it today. Check it out. Locked on Titans episode recapping tremendous victory over the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to him Thursday. Him and Alex Clancy right here. Locked on NFL podcast.